If you are thinking about removing your data from Google search, this is a great idea, but you got to really follow a certain methodology to really make sure that your data is removed from Google search permanently. Okay. So here are the facts I want you to really pay attention to. The thing is that if you want to scrub your personal info from Google searches, you have to really you have to actually contact Google. So that's actually the proactive manner. But you have to also think about the preemptive manner, which is you have to know how to manage your online reputation from the get-go. So you can remove your phone, email, and home address from the Google search results that appears when you actually enter your name. And the feature can be a useful tool for let's say scrubbing some of your personal info of your Google search. However, it doesn't mean that the information is removed from all of the internet or that particular website, right? So what happens here is that the info will still exist, but it will not appear when you search your name. So it will be more difficult for people to find that information. But so if you a more permanent strategy is to contact the website where your info is hosted and ask them to actually delete your info. It's very important to think about that way because otherwise you'll be just actually fixing one part of the problem. Also, when you think about removing your data from Google search, you got to think about not just you as an individual, but also if you have a family, for instance, you are actually preserving your family's identities. Okay, like if you have children, for instance, you want to shield your children from that kind of scrutiny. It's very important. So bottom line is you have several ways to do things, but the first thing is to contact Google search. And I'm showing you actually, I'm showing this on the screen here. This is actually when you actually contact Google search, this is the page you have to go to. And here you have the opportunity to tell Google search what you are waiting for them, what you are expecting them to do, right? And you have to tell them why you believe that the information about your name or about like your data should be removed. Like if you say, for instance, there is nudity, or let's say the info is actually showing someone who is a minor, like your child or a teenager, whatever. So you have to actually tell Google why you want the data to be removed. So the thing is that if you want to remove your data from Google search results, actually everything revolves something called remove this result function. So this function, this feature is still in its beta version, but the thing is that it's been developed as we speak, and there are a couple of ways you can file a request to Google to ask them to remove your data from Google search results. So if you are just looking to take down your phone number, email, or a home address, here is how you do it. So as you can see on the screen here, so basically Google has a remove this result feature, and basically you have to by the way, this is a courtesy of our good friend Jake Piazza at CNBC. So this is an example, but you just put your name. This can be John Doe, it could be Johnny, whatever. You put your name, and then what will happen is that you will see the feature remove this result. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to search your name in Google. You want to click on the three vertical dots next to the website that has the info you want removed. Okay, and you want to press remove results in the top right. And there are 5 options, but for phone number, email, and home address, choose it shows my personal contact info. For other requests, press the arrow next to the other bars. So it's all about you actually specifying why, again, you want to validate the reason why you want your data to be removed from Google. And so type in your name and the matching contact information with what you want removed. Be very clear here because otherwise Google is not going to follow your instruction, okay? And so, for example, if you are trying to scrub your personal phone number, make sure that it is entered. And after doing that, press continue. Then press send. Pretty straightforward though, nothing really complicated. Google has made it very simple, very simply to make sure that things are done fast. So you can press I'm done to get back to the Google search page. And if you would like to review your request, press the go to removal request bar, and that will actually give you an idea about your removal request so far. So you have it's like a running list of what's happening. Now, Google is the giant, right? I mean, and you have thousands, if not millions, of folks actually submitting removal requests to Google every single year. So don't expect Google to get back to you within 24 hours or 48 hours for that matter. Okay. It can take a few days, but Google actually will notify you via your listed email of the removal decision. You can also check your Google activity to see the status of your of the request. That's kind of cool because it gives you more flexibility here. Okay. Now this is what it will look like when your request for removal of personal information is approved. Again, we are actually using like this is courtesy of Todd Hazelton at CNBC. So you can see here that when you have this info, what happens here is that you have all kinds of information, all kinds of pieces of data here. Is essentially Google is trying to make sure that you are who you say you are. Number one, that your request is valid, is validated, and number three, to make sure that when they fix it, it's fixed for good. One thing for sure, I want to say this again. Google has no control over the owner of the sites that has your info. Google has control over its algorithm and will make sure that its algorithm doesn't index that website anymore when it comes to your data. That's all you have to do. And you can also monitor your requests by going into the data and privacy options of your Google account and scroll down and press My Activity. Then press the three dots in the search bar and select Other Activity. And then you can press the Manage Results About You and you can see the status. So it's all about Google. Google is actually doing a very thorough and a very singular sort of reporting here. So that's really good. And you can also, by the way, you can also use another link to submit a request for an even wider range of reasons. So if you are looking to have personal information removed, choose the content contains your personal information option. Okay. And this route could be used for more types of personal info, such as social security and bank account numbers. I mean, the last thing you want is to have your bank account numbers actually appearing in Google search results, by the way. So let me give you a few more details here. So how do you actually remove your personal information from Google searches? Not just the results, but Google searches in general. The good thing is that you can actually remove things like your address, phone number, and signature. I mean, signature is really key, especially if you are trying to protect your banking information. Okay, this is an important element. So basically, what information is publicly available when you type your name into Google search engine might actually impact your privacy, might impact your life, your professional life, your career, and what have you. So while you might not have any dark secrets to hide, it's not exactly comforting to discover that searching your name can produce details about you, such as where you live, with satellite and street view images just another click away, where you work, and when you were born, right? So it's one of those things where you have to really see that it's really an invasion of privacy, big time. And Google knows that. Google actually has acknowledged that. And so a couple of months ago, the company announced that it would offer new options for anyone who wants to remove personally identifiable information, the PII, from the databases used by its search engine. So given that Google dominates the global market share for search engines and is the most visited website in the world, with as many as 8 to 10 billion visits daily, this could really significantly decrease the chances of others accessing your info. So bottom line here is if you're trying to really remove your data from Google search results, the fact that the company itself, Google, is behind this whole effort is really good. But you also have to think about you have to be proactive also, and also preemptive. I said this a little earlier. How do you actually manage your online reputation? What kind of data do you actually provide to others online? Be very careful there, because at the end of the day, if you're not really careful in terms of the input, the output, it will be harder to control. But if you can control the input, if you can control what you give to other third parties online, then you have a chance of actually controlling what's actually outputted about your data. Okay. Let me go a little more granular here. When I speak about removing your data from Google search results, you have to really understand that you have a couple of things you can remove and others you can't remove, okay? So what information can you remove from Google this year? Because the rules are constantly changing, but as of this year, Google has made clear that there are 5 main categories of data pieces that they are willing to remove on your behalf, and that's really good already. That's a good development. So Google already has procedures in place that allow you to protect your info. That's really cool. Okay, for example, you have long been able to blur images of your home on Google Maps and opt out of sharing personal info. So in addition, Google Search allows users to request the removal of specific, highly personal content that could cause direct harm. Okay, and this include the 5 that I'm gonna give you right now. So I will put this on the screen so that you can really see the realm of possibilities you have. So this include non-consensual, explicit, or intimate personal images, aka revenge porn. When you have revenge porn, that's really bad. Okay, that's really bad. That's number 1. Number 2, you have involuntary fake pornography, where a person's likeness is digitally edited onto another person's body in a sexually explicit setting. You also have irrelevant pornography from Google search results for your name. You have content about you on sites with exploitative removal practices. And you have images of minors. I mean, minors should not be on the internet in the first place, okay? At least they should not be exploited in a very bad way. But hey, listen, Google is really willing to work with you on that end to make sure that they are fixing things on their end also. So when you have those 5 categories, you are able to actually act fast and have a listening ear from Google, because those are the top 5 elements they are really fighting they're fighting hard right now. But you can see that out of the top 5, 3 actually revolve around pornography. So that really tells you a lot about Google's seriousness in addressing this very, very, very important issue. One thing you need to really understand is that when you think about removing your data from Google search results, the top 5 that I just showed you, those 5 elements should not be the only one, right? I mean, because the thing is that as the internet and its usage continue to constantly evolve, Google has also acknowledged that there should be a need for its policies to keep up. So with its new guidelines, you can request removal of even more types of information found in search results, including your personal contact information and other data that could present a risk for identity theft. Because the whole thing is that it's not just about somebody actually playing with your body or your name, whatever. It's also about your name actually ending up in the dark web, for that matter. So identity theft, for instance, okay, and that's even more serious anyway. So now you can ask Google to remove personally identifiable information (PII) from Google search results, which includes confidential government identification numbers such as your social security number. So that's really big. Okay, bank account and credit card numbers. Whew, that's really big too. Imagine if somebody were to have your bank account or credit card numbers through Google search result. That's really crazy. But hey, listen, in the past this used to happen, and also if you have images of handwritten signatures, Google can actually remove that. If you have images of identification documents, for instance, if you have a highly personal, restricted, and official records such as your medical history, this is also a possibility where Google can actually make sure that they do not publish this about you anymore. Also, you can have if you have a personal contact information like your physical address, your phone number, and email address. This is really this is a big invasion of privacy. I mean, can you imagine people actually knowing where you live personally, like your physical address, and with a map leading to your address? That's really crazy. And also, you can ask Google to remove confidential login credentials. If you are unlucky enough to have your login credentials to be published on the web, you want Google to actually take action real fast and actually blur or even totally remove that data. That way, you can just preserve your privacy. Okay, not only right now but also in the long run. So it's one of those things where you have to really persist. You have to actually follow up to make sure that you are actually protecting your privacy, but also your family members' privacy. I mean, as I said this before, if you have kids, you want to protect their privacy too. Okay, very important. So the thing is that it's important to understand that if you want Google to remove info from its search, I think I've showed you before that you got to complete a removal request, right? That's pretty straightforward, nothing really complicated. Next, you need to choose whether the information is in search results or on a website or in Google search results only. So depending on your selection, you'll be given specific directions to follow. For instance, if the content appearing in Google searches is from, let's say, a deleted website, you will need to provide the URL of the page. Similarly, to remove an image, you must provide the link address of the picture. So basically, Google wants to have a clear idea about the specifics of your request. So once you have submitted a removal request, Google will always, I mean, they're not going to actually, I said to you a little earlier, they're not replying within 24 hours. I mean, they take their time too, because for them, this kinds of requests are serious, okay? So Google will actually evaluate the content to determine whether it meets the removal criteria. For instance, if the data is included in a news article or is a public record that's available on a government website, Google will not be able to remove the info. You will get an automated email confirming Google received the request, and if more information is needed, you also receive specific instructions. And so Google is really good when it comes to communicating on that front, because they take your request seriously, your information seriously. Okay, and so finally, you will get a notification about any action taken. So it's important to know that these steps only let you remove content from Google search result. I've said this before, but I'll say it again because it's important. Because even if your removal request is accepted, it would not delete the personal information from the internet completely or remove the website where it appears. So that's why I was just telling you a little earlier that it's better to contact the host of that website directly to talk to them, because this data will still be accessible from other search engines such as Bing, such as Yahoo. So if you want information about yourself removed from a specific website, the best option is to contact the webmaster of that site. Look for a contact us link or email address for the webmaster on the site's homepage. Search whois.com to find out who owns the site, or contact the site's hosting company, which will also be listed by Whois on the registrar. Okay, so that really helps you out, because it helps you out specify things from the get-go. And this is very important, especially if you are trying to get things done real fast. So this is really important to think about also the strategies to put in place to remove your data from Google search results, let's say in a permanent manner. So as a recap into this conversation, I spoke to you about how to remove your data from Google search results. I give you the facts, the details, and now the recap. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.